Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, I'm Pastor Pope, Senior Pastor of New Life Christian Center, located at 400 Hillcrest Avenue, Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. So if you are ever in our area, we invite you to come and worship with us every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. We invite you to come and experience a better quality of life. And if you're not in our area, of course, you can tune in for our Sunday sermon on our website at newlife-delaware.org, or you can tune in on our YouTube channel at New Life Christian Center Pastor Pope. I'm going to say to all of our listeners and viewers, we thank you all for staying connected with us throughout the weeks through our internet radio station, WKAPfaith.com, where we play music 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, music that will encourage you, empower you, and inspire you at WKAPfaith.com. And I want to remind everyone that if you know someone that is in need of food, we have our New Life Food Source Pantry Incorporated, which is our public charity to provide food for those who just need a little bit of assistance. We are asking that you contact us on the T-Mobile caller text line at 267-992-1424, and we will provide you with instructions. And as always, we're here with you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, broadcasting live from the FijiWater.com sponsored studio, where you can discuss careers, finances, entrepreneurship. You can discuss marriage, divorce, raising children, blending families. You can discuss dating and relationships. Whatever's in your heart, whatever's on your mind, God is concerned about that which concerns you. And that is the reason that we are here with you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. 3D is brought to you by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature, it is untouched by man? It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock, where the water collects in a natural, sustainable artesian aquifer, where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the blue cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. And for those of you who continue giving on our contribution pages of our websites or on the giving links that are provided on Facebook and YouTube, we thank all of you, and those of you that are now using Zelle on the T-Mobile caller text line at 267-992-1424. We thank all of you for your support and for your commitment as we fulfill our commitment to God to be here for you in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. So let me say to all of our listeners and viewers, we have so many communications to get through, but I also want to remind everyone that as we go into the new month, be ready. With us will be Rebecca Blue, the licensed and registered dietitian and nutritionist. We want to make certain that everyone improves their health and wellness. Remember, the scripture says, "Beloved, I wish above all things that you would prosper and be in great health, even as your soul has prospered." So we want you saved and healthy. And so we want you to tune in with us. I will be announcing when Becca will be on the air with us, but we look forward to everyone having a healthy and prosperous new year. I'm going to address a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that your husband, you said, is everything you want in a man and father. However, you said he is not very exciting, does not want to do anything out of his normal routine. And this is becoming very challenging for you. You said you don't want a divorce, but you want a new man. You want, let me make sure you're clear about the language you're asking for. You say you want a new man, but you want the same husband. Here's the reality. If your husband's everything you want in a man and a father, you've got to ask yourself, why is it so important for him to get out of his routine? The reason that he is the man he is today is because he's established a routine. He's disciplined himself to be focused on what is good for your marriage and your family. What you have to ask yourself is, why is there a need to be exciting? Why do you find it necessary to have excitement in your life? Why do you find it necessary to get out of the routine? Why are you finding it necessary to, at this point in your life, have some excitement? You know, it's very interesting how as human beings we go through different phases. But there should never be a disruption in the quality of our life. And what I mean by that is life happens to us all. So what you don't want to do is start causing disruption. You don't want to create crisis. You should want to have a stable, consistent life that brings you joy. So I'm going to expound on this for all of our listeners and viewers, because this is going to help some people. We are living in an age of chaos. And what I mean by that is the culture is setting people up for failure. It's telling us, dictating to us what we should deem to be exciting. And here's the reality: routine really should be exciting for you. You should be excited about the joy that routine brings to your life. You can, watch this. When you have someone, a spouse, significant other who has a routine, you know what to expect. When you know what to expect, there's no hidden agenda, there's no disruption, there's no chaos, you have normalcy. The problem that we have as human beings is that for some reason we think normal is boring. We think that having a normal, quiet, consistent lifestyle is boring. So we're looking for, and I've used this term before because it's something I know most people will understand. We're looking for the next shiny thing. We're looking for the next thing that is going to cause us to have an irregular heartbeat. Something that's going to excite us. And the reality is we don't need that. What we need is normalcy. What we need is routine. What we need is what we can consistently count on to be the norm of life. Now, some of you may be sitting out there right now saying that, well, Pastor, that's boring. I want to do some things. I want to experience some things. And that's what the culture has done. It has miseducated us. Society has taught us that unless we are all over the place, unless we have some movement that is out of our normal routine, that it's boring. We're not being stimulated. Well, the question you have to ask yourself, is that the right or the wrong stimulation? You know, we should be stimulated by joy. By just being in a place of joy in our lives. We should be stimulated by peace, just the peace in our lives. And yet we find ourselves running to and fro, looking for excitement. We're not even looking for peace. We're looking for something that's going to feed our flesh for the moment, make us feel good. But that is never going to allow us to experience a great quality of life. We should be searching for the joy of the Lord. And what I mean by that is, We should just have joy in getting up every day, knowing that we're in the presence of God and the presence of our loved ones. That should be enough for us. Enough for us to find our joy. Enough for us to have peace. Because one of the things we have to recognize is the more joy and peace you have, the better your quality of life is going to be. And the reason you're going to have a better quality of life is because your mind is not going to be, your psyche is not going to be disrupted, and you're not going to have poor health. Now, health is wealth, and poor health is poverty. So we want to be healthy. We want to be healthy in our body, mind, and spirit. Excitement is not going to allow you to do that. And I don't mean, it's okay to be excited about life. It's okay to be excited about your joy and your peace. But looking for outside stimulation, looking for outside excitement is never going to give you the great quality of life that you desire. And so what I want to encourage us all to do this year is that we seek our joy in the Lord, and that we seek the perfect peace that God has promised us. But we have to be intentional about that. We have to get in the joy of being at peace. Get in the joy of a routine. Get in the joy of consistency. Get in the joy of knowing every single day when you get up exactly what you're going to do as long as life doesn't interfere. Because life will happen. But the great news is that life won't happen to you often. The culture has a new expression, life be lifing. Life doesn't do anything to us that we're not prepared to handle as long as we stay in peace until it happens. We got to recognize that if we can stay in a place of perfect peace when life happens, we'll know that we're going to go through it and come out on the other side. Because I have peace. Whatever that may look like, life may change some dynamics, but I'm still at peace. Life might change, may cause a disruption, but I'm still going to have peace. And the reason is because you live in joy. You're not looking for outside stimulation. You're not looking for something that's going to feed our flesh. And that's realistically the times that we're living in. Everyone's looking for a way to feed their flesh, when we really should be searching for our joy in the Lord and our perfect peace that God has promised us. He said it in His Word. There's peace that surpasses all understanding, and then there's perfect peace. You have to decide just how far you're willing to go in peace. And let me say this to all of us. That requires some work, but the benefits, the outcome, is worthwhile. Just like pursuing our careers every day, our professional environment every day. It requires work, but the results, the accomplishment is what gives us the peace. And so you said your husband's basically the man that you have always wanted him to be. amazing husband and an amazing father, but he's not exciting. Be thankful for his routine. Be thankful for who he is living in routine. Because that's why you have the quality of life that you have today. It's because all things are working for the good for those who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. So if you're not currently a T-Mobile customer, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-1424. We will move you into our queue so that you may become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill at T-Mobile, America's largest and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you received a promotion in the new year and a significant raise. You said now you really would like to splurge on a vacation out of the country. However, with the promotion, it does not appear that you have time. So let's think about that for a moment. And this is going to kind of lead me into another communication, but here's the reality. You got a promotion, so automatically with the promotion comes more responsibility. The blessing is that you also got an increase in pay, because you all know that some companies will give you a new job assignment and it may not come with much more money. Or they'll have you doing a job that is not necessarily the job you were hired to do and won't pay you more money. So you've been blessed. You've been blessed to get a promotion, and you've been blessed to receive a significant raise. So now think about this. You don't have time, particularly you just got promoted. You don't have time to start thinking about vacation. If you want to think about vacation, it should be done on the weekends when you have a moment to sit down and plot out how many weeks vacation you have or time off you have been assigned, and strategically plan a vacation for later in the year or in the coming year. Work the whole year and be off when you have holidays, and get your promotion right. That should be your main focus right now, not a vacation. Just because you have more money. And just because you have more money doesn't mean that you should spend it. You know, I often encourage people, when you get an increase in your income, keep living the way you've always lived. Keep living the same lifestyle that you're currently living, and bank your increase. Save and invest. Preserve the new income. Don't increase your spending habits just because your income increased, which is what most people do. They get an increase and they're going to find some place else to allocate that money that is going to give them some new form of entertainment or pleasure. It's not what you want to do. And first of all, you've got to focus on the promotion. So you've got to say to yourself, since you were already on the job, you were in the same company, you were promoted, you didn't get a new job so that you could ask for a few days grace before you start. You were already there and got promoted. So you can't just take time off because you got a promotion. Now you've got to work the promotion. You've got to work it. You've got to make the promotion work for you. You've got to make sure that they made the right choice in promoting you, because they could have promoted someone else. So stop worrying about splurging on a vacation out of the country. Save your money, plan a vacation, you'll be able to take one later. Whether it's later in this year, and let me say this to you, I recommend that you don't take a vacation before October. Then that gives you time to chart one out. It gives you time to make some decisions on where you want to go. And realistically, if you find that with the promotion, you can't take a vacation this year, a real vacation this year, like you want to take going out of the country, put it off until next year. Just, take your holidays when they're assigned to you from work, and focus on building the promotion that you received. Focus on that. Make the main thing the main thing. Don't focus on splurging on a vacation out of the country just because. You gotta, that's why it's called vacation. You gotta plan that. So you shouldn't plan that even before the last quarter of the year. So I would recommend October. And then if you find that October's not going to work for you, don't look at November and December. Wait until the following year. And the reason is because you're going to be in the fourth quarter then. And as you get closer to the end of the year, there's going to be more work to be done and more responsibility in your new promotion. We've got to be practical about these things. We've got to be strategic about our time, what we're doing, how we're doing it, when we do it. We've got to be strategic. And you don't want to give the impression that just because you got promoted now, I can take some time off. No, to whom much is given, much is required. Which is going to take me into another communication, but here's the bottom line. At the end of the day, you've been blessed. Enjoy your blessing. Don't squander your blessing. Don't diminish your progress or your success by taking some time off. And you might be telling yourself, and the reason I know this is because you made a comment in your communication, but you might be telling yourself, I've worked to get this promotion, I need some time off. No, that's not the time to take off, because you were already in the company. So their expectation is they gave you a promotion and a significant increase in your income. You got to be full tilt. You got to be all in. It would have been different if you had changed companies, changed careers. You had a little time between the time of your departure and your start date. That would have been different. This is not that. So you don't want to treat it as such. You want to make certain that you focus on the assignment that's before you so that you can get into a rhythm, develop a rhythm that is going to allow you, if the opportunity presents itself, meaning the time presents itself, for you to take a little vacation time, maybe the first 2 weeks of October. That would be the earliest. And if that month doesn't work for you, don't try it in November and December, because you know that's going to be year end. Fourth quarter, year end work always has to be done. Just push it over to the next year. And you'll find that you really are in a better position if you do those things, if you do things that way. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by Charles Tyrwhitt, located in London, the UK. They also have stores in New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and at the King of Prussia Mall in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. So if you're in any of those areas, stop in at the retail stores. They have everything a man could possibly need. And if you're not in any of those areas, you can simply order from Charles Tyrwhitt at ctshirts.com. They will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. And The White Company, located in London, the UK. They also have a store on Fifth Avenue in New York. So if you are in New York, stop in at the retail store. They have everything you could possibly need: home goods, clothing for men, women, and children. And if you're not in New York, you can order from The White Company also at thewhitecompany.com. They too will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you said there's someone who is interested in dating you. However, he is not the type of man you normally date because it will require more responsibility. Well, the simple answer to that is it's time to grow up. It's time to be an adult and accept responsibility. You've been dating people who don't require any responsibility. They've just been a good time. The person who's interested in you is responsible, professionally progressive, really moving in the path that God would have him to move. You said he's very disciplined. He goes to church. He, spends time with his family, siblings, works very hard. That's what a man of God does. But you normally date men who don't require responsibility. They just want to hang out and have fun. You become the good time girl. You all just having a good time. But at some point in time, as an adult, we have to seek more than a good time. And that means being responsible. That requires responsibility. That means there are certain things that are going to be required of us all to be successful and experience the fullness of God. So you have to say to yourself, am I at the point in my life where I can no longer choose to date the men that you've always deemed to be your type of man? The ones who want to hang out with you and your girlfriends and their significant others, and everybody's just living life, having fun. That is something that people do when they're in college. And I'm not suggesting that as adults you don't have friends, you don't go out to dinner together. You can do those things. But all of the still hanging out at the clubs and still, I get it. Everybody's doing what society has taught us to do. That's okay to do. But it doesn't allow us to move forward. You said he goes to church, you don't. Maybe you should try something new. Maybe you should try something different. Because the men that you've been dating have all been ships passing in the night. They're here for a period of time and then they're gone. And you say that you're ready for something more, but with that comes responsibility. So you have to know that at this point in your life, it's simply time to grow up. Those two words, grow and up, trajectory. You go up to the next level. which means you're going to have to leave some of the people that you've been hanging out with, some of the men that you've been dating and hanging out with behind. Because if they're not willing to grow and go, they will be left behind. Today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast 3D has been brought to you by Fiji Water. A taste of paradise will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. May God bless you today. May God keep his face turned towards you. May God give you peace that surpasses all understanding. Have a great day today. And of course, we invite you to come and worship with us at New Life Christian Center, 400 Hillcrest Avenue.